is the counterterrorism efforts of the Malian armed forces against these and other terrorist organizations such as ISIS, Sahel, but the situation is worsening quickly. We remained deeply concerned about the incidents of kidnapping, the incidents of hostage-taking across the Sahel as a means to finance these terrorist activities. Unfortunately, since the veto of the UN sanctions regime in 2023, it has been deeply disappointing to see Mali's security situation continue to deteriorate. That decision removed critical tools from the international community that it relied on to promote accountability and to promote stability. And the result has been an uptick, a massive surge in violence, has been a shrinking space for dialogue and growing risk for civilians across the country and across the region. The terrorist threats are not only intensifying, they are spreading, they are shifting southward, as evidenced by the terrorist attacks we've seen in Benin and Togo. But particularly, the United States is concerned and outraged by the ongoing slaughter of thousands of Christians in Nigeria by various ethnic militias in the Middle Belt, as well as terrorists like Boko Haram and ISIS West Africa in the north. It is tragic and it is unacceptable. Churches are burning, villages are being razed, thousands are killed, clergy murdered simply for wearing a cross, for being a Christian, for daring to say they worship Jesus as Christ. Just yesterday, 25 little girls were kidnapped from their school, and one school official murdered trying to protect them from MAGA Comprehensive Girls Secondary School in Kebbi State. Colleagues, this is happening. It's undeniable, and it's unacceptable. The United States condemns these attacks in the strongest terms, and it demands accountability. And as President Trump has made clear, we will not stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria. The government of Nigeria must take immediate steps and do more to increase security, respond to early warnings, end impunity, and address the drivers of violence. And colleagues, we need to see African leadership on these matters, and we need to see a coordinated response among all countries in the region. The situation is critical. The United States will continue to work with regional partners to counter these common threats. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of the United States for the statement. President of the Council. I now give the floor to the representative of the United States.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for chairing this important meeting. Thank you to our briefers, Secretary General Guterres, and ECOWAS Commission President Dr. Touré. Colleagues, as we speak, Al-Qaeda-affiliated terrorists in the Sahel have paralyzed Mali with a fuel blockade. Colleagues, the situation is dire there. We see Al-Qaeda aiming to take over the entire country. The United States acknowledges the counterterrorism efforts of the Malian armed forces against these and other terrorist organizations such as ISIS, Sahel, but the situation is worsening quickly. We remained deeply concerned about the incidents of kidnapping, the incidents of hostage-taking across the Sahel as a means to finance these terrorist activities. Unfortunately, since the veto of the UN sanctions regime in 2023, it has been deeply disappointing to see Mali's security situation continue to deteriorate. That decision removed critical tools from the international community that it relied on to promote accountability and to promote stability. And the result has been an uptick, a massive surge in violence, has been a shrinking space for dialogue and growing risk for civilians across the country and across the region. The terrorist threats are not only intensifying, they are spreading, they are shifting southward, as evidenced by the terrorist attacks we've seen in Benin and Togo. But particularly, the United States is concerned and outraged by the ongoing slaughter of thousands of Christians in Nigeria by various ethnic militias in the Middle Belt, as well as terrorists like Boko Haram and ISIS West Africa in the north. It is tragic and it is unacceptable. Churches are burning, villages are being razed, thousands are killed, clergy murdered simply for wearing a cross, for being a Christian, for daring to say they worship Jesus as Christ. Just yesterday, 25 little girls were kidnapped from their school, and one school official murdered trying to protect them, from MAGA Comprehensive Girls Secondary School in Kebbi State. Colleagues, this is happening. It's undeniable, and it's unacceptable. The United States condemns these attacks in the strongest terms, and it demands accountability. And as President Trump has made clear, we will not stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria. The government of Nigeria must take immediate steps and do more to increase security, respond to early warnings, end impunity, and address the drivers of violence. And colleagues, we need to see African leadership on these matters, and we need to see a coordinated response among all countries in the region. The situation is critical. The United States will continue to work with regional partners to counter these common threats. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of the United States for this statement.
This legislation would
And I'll give the
thank you,
floor
Mr. Chairman. I speak in
to
support
the
of H.R.
representative of
4397,
China.
the Muslim Brotherhood Terrorist Designation Act of 2025, led by Representatives Mario Diaz-Balart and Jared Moskowitz. This bill would designate the Muslim Brotherhood as a foreign terrorist organization and establish a process for designating its members, branches, and affiliates as terrorists. The bill amends the Anti-Terrorism Act and treats the Muslim Brotherhood in the same manner that the PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization, was treated during the height of its terrorist activities. It would prohibit Americans from transacting with the Brotherhood and prevent its members from entering the United States. This legislation would codify key elements of President Trump's recent executive order and provide a permanent statutory framework to address the ongoing threat posed by the Muslim Brotherhood and its violent offshoots. Despite its efforts to present itself as a mainstream political or social movement, the Muslim Brotherhood and its affiliates are rooted in an extremist ideology with a long history of supporting terrorism. Founded in 1928 by Hassan el-Banna in Egypt, the Brotherhood's stated goal from the beginning was to establish a global caliphate based on Islamic supremacy, to restructure societies and governments according to its interpretation of Sharia, and to advance a radical agenda. When I was stationed in Egypt under Mubarak, Mubarak was still there, he had Egyptian armed forces kick down doors and simply shoot who was in the room, Muslim Brotherhood. While the Brotherhood often maintains plausible deniability, many of its branches and affiliates provide the ideological justification, financial support, and recruitment pipelines for jihadist violence. The Brotherhood has directly inspired or supported terrorist organizations, including Hamas and Al-Qaeda. Its influence extends across the Middle East, Europe, and into the United States. The violence and instability it has fueled has already led Saudi Arabia, Jordan, the UAE, and Egypt to ban the organization outright. This bill would bring U.S. policy into alignment with our key regional partners. More importantly, the Muslim Brotherhood provides material support to U.S. designated terrorist organizations. That fact is not speculation. It is documented in the Brotherhood's own internal strategy papers, including the 1991 Explanatory Memorandum on the General Strategic Goal for the Group in North America, a document that was seized by the FBI in 2004 and admitted as evidence in the Holy Land Foundation terrorism financing trial. That document, written by a senior Muslim Brotherhood leader in the United States, explicitly describes the Brotherhood's work here as a kind of, and I quote, kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying the Western civilization from within and sabotaging its miserable house so that Islam is made victorious over all other religions and civilizations. It lists dozens of Brotherhood front organizations operating in the United States and outlines a long-term plan to infiltrate and undermine American institutions through a, quote, civilization jihadist process. That's the Muslim Brotherhood's own description of its mission on American soil, in its own words, recovered by our law enforcement. The threat that this violent Sharia extremist group opposes to America is clear. The evidence is overwhelming, and the time to act is now. Designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization is long overdue, and I urge my colleagues to support H.R. 4397, and I yield back.
Land of the rising sun, we love and cherish. Beloved home, land of our brave heroes. We must defend our lives, or we shall perish. We shall protect our hearts from all our
emerged triumphant from all our foes. Through the crucible unscathed, we passed victorious. Our trumpets pealing, the glorious song, play it, sing it, all hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. We shall always remember all that perished in the struggle for our freedom. All hail our heroes. Our prayer shall be known both day and night. Say them always. All hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. Now our star shines everywhere. We crave humility. God guide and protect us all. All hail your wisdom, shielding us from fury, unleashed by our enlightenment. Biafra, Biafra, shining forever.
We observe a minute silence to the fallen heroes of Biafra, and the time starts now. We mourn our heroes past, we celebrate them, and our heroes living as we continue to fight on to see that Biafra is fully restored. Ise, 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 Ise. Welcome everyone to this emergency media press briefing from the office of the acting prime minister. And without wasting of our time, I will invite him to the screen. So the press and the media, the lovers of Biafra and lovers of Christians, I welcome and present to you the acting prime minister of the Biafran people, Honorable Prime Minister, acting prime minister, His Excellency Honorable Okechukwu Nkere. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Minister of Information, Honorable Mazi Sonny Abarawa. Thank you, you and your entire team for the great work that you are doing for the Biafran people. My fellow citizens, as we are drawing closer to our freedom, to our total liberation of our land from the hand of the enemy, the invaders, those that have come to kill us, to occupy our land, to Islamize us, chase us out of our land. We need to be vigilant. I repeat, we need to be vigilant so that what happened to us in 1967 to 1970 will not repeat itself. We can see the playbook of the British government about to repeat itself. So we need to be very, very vigilant. I'm going to ask Minister of Information, Mazi Sonia Barawa here. He's going to be reading from the classified information from UK about what actually happened and transpired during the genocidal war against the Biafran people. And I also want to use the opportunity to acknowledge our leaders in detention and to let Biafrans know that what we are doing, our resistance, our fight for freedom is what will release them. We remember them, we appreciate them. We appreciate our heroes, all the brigade cabinet members, ministers, reps and admin, and all Biafrans in general. We appreciate everyone. Honorable Minister of Information, you can go ahead and read this vital information for Biafrans that are not aware of what happened from 1967 to 1970 and before 1967, so that we need to take our fellow citizens back to memory lane. We will not allow the playbook of the British government to repeat itself again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, APM, and thank you very much to all Biafrans. Please, as you join, you invite other people in because the APM is here to set the record straight. It is imperative for you to know that Britain facilitated the massacre of Biafrans in Nigeria to protect their oil interests and gas. And what you see today is that the US government, USA, American citizens, the lawmakers of America are working so hard to free the Biafran people from the Islamic jihadist terrorists, which Britain created. So Britain created the chaos, and then US is now liberating. All right. On the 50th anniversary of the end of the Biafran War, the world's worst humanitarian crisis in the late 1960s, the classified British file shows that Harold Wilson's government secretly armed and backed Nigeria's aggression against the secessionist region. These are pictures of Biafrans in hungry mood, Biafran children at a Red Cross food distribution center, photo by Peter Williams and Wikimedia. So we will be focusing on the important part because time will not permit us to read everything. All right. The then Labour government secretly provided large quantities of arms to the Nigerian federal government, which by early 1970 had crushed an attempt by the country's eastern region of Biafra to gain independence, which it had declared in May 1967. During the 3 years of war, up to 3 million people died as Nigeria enforced a blockade on Biafra, causing widespread starvation amid considerable international opposition to the conflict. British policy was mainly shaped by its oil interests, The classified government document from the time show our direct interests are trade and investment, including an important stake by Shell/BP in the eastern region. The Foreign Office noted a few days before the outbreak of the war in 1967. Investment by Shell, BP, then a joint company in Nigeria, which was partly owned by the British government, amounted to around 200 million pounds. At the time, the company was the largest producer of oil in Nigeria, most of which was in Biafra. Shell have much to lose if the federal military government do not achieve the expected victory. George Thomas, Labour's Commonwealth Minister, noted in August 1967. He added, the sole immediate British interest in Nigeria is that the Nigerian economy should be brought back to a condition in which our substantial trade and investment in the country can be further developed, and particularly so we can regain access to important oil installations. UK supplies of arms, which eventually enabled the Nigerian government to win the war, included millions of rounds of ammunition, hundreds of machine guns and grenades, thousands of mortar and artillery bombs, aircraft and armored personnel carriers. These supplies were massively stepped up while Labour Prime Minister Harold Wilson was telling Parliament that Britain was supplying arms to Nigeria at the same level as before. He made the false claim that there was no special provision for the war. The decisions to supply arms and ammunition were taken at a time when it was clear they were being used against civilians. Wilson's agreement to supply patrol boats in 1967 was done in the knowledge that this will help the government of Nigeria maintain the sea blockade against Biafra. We would like to stop here because of time, since the APM is on emergency press briefing. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Minister. My fellow citizens, what happened 1967 to 1970, even to today, the British government, they are part of this genocidal war that is still happening till date. The British government are part of the sponsoring of the Boko Haram or the ISIS or the terrorist group because they support the activity. Please, we Biafrans, we try to exonerate the citizens, the innocent citizens of UK, or you call it the British people. Some of the citizens of the British, they might not be aware of what is happening, but I will try the best we can to educate them. They need to call their government to order. I repeat, some British are innocent or ignorant of what their government is doing. The British government, they are evil, they mastermind most of the atrocity, what is happening in the global community today. They aid and they abet these terrorists. They support them. They collude with them. What happened yesterday? The Nigerian official, including the illegitimate Southeast governors, hosted the former Prime Minister of the UK, Boris Johnson, in Biafra land. Prime Minister Johnson, during his speech, attempted to minimize the terrorism in Nigeria and the mass death that both Nigerian Christians and Biafrans have suffered. Most importantly, the Nigeria attempting to bring Prime Minister Johnson to Nigeria and then into Biafra land is a desperate plot to have the UK stop the United States of America, the leader of the free world, from having Biafra recognition. I want to assure Biafrans not to be concerned. This is not 1967, when the UK was a major world power. The UK is now a second-rate European power. The UK gets its instruction from the US, not the other way around. In today's world, the US and President Trump will not be lectured by the British. As long as we have US support, the UK will not be able to stop Biafra nor save Nigeria. The UK should realize that their time is over and that they should withdraw themselves from Nigeria. The UK played a shameful role in the 1967 to 1970 Biafran civil war, and they should be learning lesson for all of us and for them. My fellow citizens, since we know those that don't want our freedom to come, the number one country is the UK. They don't want Biafran people to be free. Earlier on, I tried to exonerate the innocent citizens of UK. They might not be aware of this. But the evil of the UK, United Kingdom, that they have committed globally, time is coming. It will hurt them as a nation. They need to repent. And we will try the best we can to educate the citizens of UK about the atrocity of their government. They have an evil, wicked government. Remember the same British, United States of America fought a brutal war. When they asked for their freedom, British refused to let United States of America go, which took the life of thousands, if not millions of people. Remember what happened in India? They also fought very hard to be free. The UK or the British people, they always choose the evil paths. They don't care about we Biafrans. They don't care about Biafran citizens. I don't know what word to use for this man called Boris Johnson. He don't even deserve to use Prime Minister. I don't know what word, if not because of being political correct. I know the kind of word I use for people like that. It's so shameful that he have chosen to walk in evil, dark path. When he visited Biafra land yesterday, I asked this man called Boris Johnson, how beautiful is Biafra land? What did he see in the surrounding? Is it the good roads? Is it a good sewer system? These people have held us in bondage for years. Back in 1960s, UK they still play a significant role as a world superpower. They are going down the hill every day. And that is how they will be going down until, and before they crash, we pray that all the innocent civilians of UK will be exempted and on board before they crash, so that only the evil elites, the evil government will crash. We all remember a man named Peter Obi. Few years ago, he quickly ran to the same UK to do what? To get instruction on how to stop Biafra from being free. And this man called Peter Obi came back with the so-called Labour Party. This is the same Britain Labour Party that killed millions of Biafrans. This is the same Britain Labour Party that they imposed on Nnamdi Azikiwe. Labour Party had never given the Biafran people the freedom they deserve. Not before, not now. They don't mean well for Biafran people. These desperate attempts from the British government, because they know they are failing woefully. United States of America, the leader of the free world, we Biafran people will be U.S. based ally. We work with U.S. to counter terrorism. We work with U.S. to destroy all the evil governments of the world, all those that have come to kill us. We work with U.S. to make sure we eliminate all the terrorists that don't want this free world to be free. I don't see no reason why, we Biafrans don't see no reason why United States of America is condemning the atrocity being committed by the Nigerian terrorist states, that have colluded with these Islamic jihadist terrorists to kill the innocent Biafrans and also the innocent Nigerian Christians and the Biafran Christians. Boris Johnson, before I call him this evil Boris Johnson, I'm trying to use my word wisely, choose my choice of word. If not, I will not be political correctness. Boris Johnson did not, we didn't hear the UK condemning the killing of Christians, condemning the kidnapping or adoption of over 300 children from schools, did not condemn the killing of Christians in Benue, in Biafra land, in Plateau. My fellow citizens, what happened in 1967 to 1970? Are you going to allow that to happen? Whoever comes your way to stop you from getting your freedom, crush that person. British government should be ashamed of themselves. Few years ago, ambassador from the same UK or British, whatever you call them, was campaigning in Nigeria, forcing the Nigerian people to go and vote all because of Biafra. Because they don't want Biafra to be free. For those that still believe in one Nigeria, those that believe in Labour Party, remember, this is the same Labour Party that massacred your uncle, your parents, your forefather, your auntie, nephews. This is the same Labour Party that put a blockage for Biafrans to be starved to death. America is the leader of the free world, not United Kingdom, not the British government. Their time is up. The real leader of the free world, United States of America, of which the current president is President J. Trump, will not be lectured or educated about what is happening in Nigeria or in Biafra land. It's all over the social media, and it's been trending for some time now, how the Nigerian terrorist state and the Islamic jihadists, how they are persecuting, how they are killing Biafran Christians and Nigerian Christians. I don't know why the UK turned a blind eye. And the so-called UK, supposedly supposed to be a Christian country or nation. But what is happening in UK today is predicted. And this prophecy of a great man called Mazin Namdekan, that UK will be Islamized. The reason is because they love the extremists. The reason is because they sponsor these extremists. They abet and aid them. They love them. They should welcome these extremists to their land. And it's already happening. In UK today, some part of UK, you can't even preach the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. What goes around comes around. We encourage the British government to open their arms and welcome Boko Haram to their land. We encourage them to welcome ISIS, the Taliban, the Al-Qaeda, the ISWAP, all these terrorists, because they love them. My fellow citizens, it's time that we all unite and fight our one common enemy, the Islamic jihadist terrorists, the Fulani herdsmen, those that have come to Islamize our land, to chase us off out of our land, and to also expose the so-called UK government. What happened in 1967 to 1970 will not repeat itself again. 1967 to 1970, UK government deceived the entire world, lying to them that what is happening is just a communal clash, headers, fans clash. They deceived the world. But we thank God that today there's social media, everything that happened is being exposed. And UK should pack their load. If they love Nigeria so much, they can go ahead and have their own Nigeria and have their Sharia law deal with the country called Nigeria. But as far as we Biafrans, we are not Nigeria. And we also have our leader Mazin Namdekan, who is a UK citizen with United Kingdom passport. They haven't even commented on the sentencing, life sentence of our leader Mazin Namdekan, nor even try to set him free. What does that tell you, my fellow citizens? They don't mean well for we Biafran people. They are just after our riches, our oil and gas, after our resources in our land. They don't care about human life. They don't care about the Christians, Biafran Christians that have been massacred. These evil elites like Boris Johnson and others don't care about Biafran people. We are sure that Biafra must be free. If you a Biafran listening, my fellow citizens, just for what happened, not to happen again, just remember how your fellow Biafrans were massacred, starved to death in millions. If that don't break your heart, if that don't make you shed tears, how Biafrans were starved to death by this British government. If that don't make you want to go crazy, that means you are not truly a Biafran. Remember 1967 to 1970. The British people, they want to take us back to memory lane to remember the pains that they have caused to Biafran people. We will not forget. If they don't desist from their evil way, UK will be worse than Somalia. They will keep going down. If the citizens and patriots of UK don't rise up, condemn their government, for their government to desist from this evil act. They are evil. Boris Johnson, an evil man, stepped his foot in Biafra land, talking about how peaceful it is. Why thousands of Biafrans organs are being harvested every day by these terrorists. If not for the Biafran Defense Force, our land would have been overrun. If not for the Biafran Defense Force, Boris Johnson, would not have made it to even step his foot in Biafra land. We appreciate our BDF that are protecting Biafra land. We will keep defending our land. Our freedom is not negotiable. Please, my fellow citizens, if you don't want what happened in 1967 to 1970 to happen again, our website is open 24/7. Kindly visit the website. Fund your freedom. Donate. You have seen that the UK, United so-called Kingdom of Evil Empire, they will not come and help us. They are complicit in this genocide that is happening against Christians in Nigeria, against Christians in Biafra land. These people are evil. We Biafran people on this day, we call upon all the innocent citizens of UK, all the patrons of UK, rise up against your evil government. Tell your evil government to stop killing innocent Christians all over the world. They are complicit. They aid and abet terrorism. They dine and wine with terrorism. With these terrorists, it's so shameful. If you're a Biafran, you're not supporting your freedom. I don't know what you will gain. And for the illegitimate governors in Biafra land still parading themselves, Biafran people will hold you responsible. They will hold you accountable when time comes. None of you will escape the judgment of Biafra. And for Boris Johnson, yes, you made it to Biafra land safely because we have our Biafra Defense Force that are fighting hard to protect Biafra land. Without our Biafra Defense Force, our land by now would have been overrun. Can somebody talk to this man before I call him fool? Boris Johnson. Why didn't he go to the IDP camp in Benue State? Why didn't he go to Plateau? Why didn't he visit all these places that these terrorists have been terrorizing every day? They are trying to make themselves relevant in the international community face, but their time is gone. This is the era of the leader of the free world, United States of America. United States of the free world have taken the lead. UK, your time is up. Pack your load and go. We'll do everything humanly possible to protect Biafra land. What happened in 1967 to 1970 will not repeat itself again. UK can try to deceive the world as much as they can. Their time is up. Thank you, fellow citizens. Please fund your freedom. Support your freedom. We have seen that what happened in 1967 to 1970, some enemy of Biafrans are working hard to let what happened repeat itself again. We've seen that Boris Johnson of Evil Empire demonstrated that yesterday. Few years ago, the ambassador from UK to Nigeria demonstrated that trying to lure the Biafran people into the Chambo fake scam election of Nigeria. We have seen how they demonstrate that by trying to use Peter Obi that killed Biafrans in Oji River, and Evil Man for that matter too. We have seen what happened in 1967 to 1970 by the so-called Labour Party, the same Labour Party that they tried to impose using P2B as their champion. Thank you from here. Fund your freedom. Fund your freedom. What we are doing, we release our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our leaders in detention. And if the UK really meant well for the Imolite or the Biafran people, let them go and intervene in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He's also a UK citizen. Thank you from here. Ndewo.
There were APM, there were APM, there were. And I welcome the original COS into the studio. And like our APM have just said, come and fund your freedom. The flyer on the screen is the flyer of the fundraising. So if you look to the left from your own screen, it may be to the right, you can see that there is a quote that was made by our Supreme Leader on the 2nd of December 2014. And it reads, "Then a group deadlier than Boko Haram will emerge. They will seize our farmland, rape our women, kill our people, and their masters will protect, defend, and even harm them the more, because their sole agenda is to enslave us forever. Those who cannot see it now will soon see it. The hatred in their souls for my people is legendary. They do not see us as humans. They kill, they slaughter, they burn, and they destroy. Mindless bloodletting is in their DNA. My people are in trouble." Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, 2nd of December 2014. My dear people of Biafra, our APM has just spoken. And what you ought to do is to key in and fund your freedom. If you don't want to carry the dead bodies of your babies, women, and children in bags, our APM has also stressed that the reason why Biafra land is safe for everybody and for even an idiot like Boris Johnson to come all the way from UK and then has the guts to disgrace the people of UK because he did not speak to disgrace the people of Nigeria. The people of Nigeria have no shame. There is no shame on their faces. So he actually came to speak to disgrace UK as a country. It is because of these men and women you see here on the screen that have put their lives on the line. If not, 300 and something babies would have also been kidnapped in our lands. How did they make that happen? They did not do that with their saliva. They did not do that with their teeth. Neither did they do it with their tongue. They did it with the logistics available to them in their hands. That is why we call on all Biafrans to come out and support their freedom. Honorable COS, welcome to the studio. And at this point, I'll leave the mic for you to do justice to this very day. They will from here.
Thank you so much, Mazi Sani. Greetings, my APM. Thank you very much for addressing Biafrans and for highlighting the very important issues that Biafrans face. I really want to appreciate every Biafran who is listening to us today. I want to appreciate the Biafran Defense Forces who are making sure that Biafra land is secured to the best of their abilities, which is why, just like my APM pointed out, Boris Johnson has the infantry to get into Biafra land and claim that it is safe. What does that tell you? The whole there is trouble going on in Imo State, even though their governor has confirmed it, has been confirmed again by Boris Johnson. The disturbance of our people in Imo State is sponsored by Nigerian terrorists, either the ones in the military or the government hired terrorists that operate in our land. That is part of what the event of Boris Johnson and the rest of them who were there has proven once again. They claim that in Imo State, our people are being slaughtered by God knows who. But when they have their events everywhere, it tends to be at a little bit rate of peace for them. This is because of Biafra. They were able to travel and come into our land. But I have a simple question though for Boris Johnson. I want the rest of the world to help me and ask Boris Johnson, how is it that the former prime minister of a country or of Britain goes into Nigeria, a state holding a high profiled British citizen in their prison, tried and convicted by a non existing law? This is something the rest of the world knows right now. But Boris Johnson goes into Nigeria and didn't even ask of their citizen, a high profile citizen of Britain. So I'm asking Boris Johnson and I'm asking the whole British people, like my APM said here, some of you are ignorant of what is going on. Some of you are ignorant of what happened between the British government and how they facilitated the killing of Biafrans. Today, I want every British person and every Biafran who is living in Britain to please ask Boris Johnson, is this how you treat British citizens? The same people you claim you exchanged liquor with Nigeria for their expertise in engineering and in the medical field? Is this how you treat them? Is this how they treat you as a British Biafran citizen? What this should tell each and every one of us is very simple. The earlier we rise up and support the Biafra Republic government in exile, the only government that is making sure that the British government is exposing themselves the more. The earlier our people rise up and support it, the better for each and every one of us. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cared about what is going on in our land until the United States spoke about Biafra. Now everybody cares. Now everybody wants to have an opinion. The only opinion, the only remedy to the problem in the region called Nigeria is the recognition of Biafra. British government has recognized Palestine. I hope people know that. That is the same people that are working with the Nigerian terrorist state, a great funder of Hamas, to be able to suppress you, to keep you where you are. So if everybody can, please help me and ask Boris Johnson a simple question. Is this how you treat British citizens? For Biafrans, our funding is the most important thing at this point. It is time we all rise up, put our hands together, and fund our liberation. Without funding, we are not going anywhere. Every country in the world, every country that fights a war in the world must require funding. With dedicated men and appropriate funding, will we win the war? Go down through the declassified documents our Minister of Information is reading today. You will see to the tone of how much the British government Labour Party funded the Nigerian terrorist state against our people. And that will tell you how much fund that is needed to fight a war. Darling everyone, don't forget, anyị nyụkọ mamịrị ọnụ, ọ gbaala anyị ụfụfụ. Ma anyị mee ngwa ngwa, anyị emeghela ọdachi. Thank you so much, my Minister of Information, and thank you, Biafrans, for being here with us this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, my honorable COS. And before you go, the Biafra de facto government in the homeland have officially launched days of lockdown in Biafra land. And this is in solidarity with Biafra and also aim at the eviction of the Nigerian facilities from Biafra territory. Because Mazin Nnamdi Kanu was pronounced death sentence, was also pronounced life imprisonment. I will want you to speak on the flyer on the screen so as to create more awareness for the Biafran people so that they know the significance of the upcoming lockdown of the Biafran territory. Dated on the screen 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 December 2025. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, my Minister of Information. Yes, this is a very important issue, not only for Biafrans who are listening, but for the rest of the world who might want to know. The Biafra Republic government in exile, as a government that is taking care of the Biafran affairs here in exile, has a branch, the de facto government in homeland, that issues orders like this. So these orders are reflecting the intentions of the Biafran Republic government, the Biafran people back home. It's very important that we understand the importance of sitting at home, civil disobedience, at a time like this, at a time when there is massacre of our people, there is different distractions from all the government terrorists that are running around our cities, from the state government terrorists. We talk about the Ebubago and the rest of them, the Agune Chamber, all created by the government that are running around in our city. It is important that at a time like this, when people are asked to sit at home, not just because you want to register your displeasure with our leader that is being incarcerated for no just cause, but it is important for you to understand that all these people that have been created, all these different terrorists that have been created by Nigeria, will be used against you. And the next thing you hear is that the Biafran people enforced sit at home. We do not enforce it at home. We speak with the Biafran people and they understand. I want to take us down back to memory lane. In their present government, during their presidential election, we campaigned for the Biafran people to avert the voting. Over 20 million votes were not accounted for in their elections, their presidential election. That is because of your seat at home, your civil disobedience. It spoke a loud volume to the rest of the world who were listening. And this sit at home shows to the consistency of our activities. So, everybody, you are advised pick up whatever you can and sit at home. Sit at home, not just for our leader Mazen Namdekano, but for your safety. Because the Nigerian terrorist state will always show the people, the rest of the world, why they are terrorists. They're going to deploy their evil angels against you. So the best thing for you is to sit at home. If you sit at home, you avoid every problems. And sitting at home registers again to the world that we, the Biafran people, we are not Nigerians, and we will never be Nigerians. Dalo, thank you so much, my Minister of Information.
Thank you. Thank you. I want APM to add to the lockdown date that the Biafra de facto government in the homeland have announced. APM on the screen, we can see the 15th, the 16th, the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th of December 2025. What do you have to say or advise to Biafrans on this?
My fellow citizens, we all understand that we have the de facto government in the homeland. So while we are brigade, we are the government in exile. So the government in homeland know what they need to do in the homeland to be secure. And they know what to do in times of the situation that we find ourselves. So first of all, for every Biafran that are concerned about the unlawful detention or kidnapping of our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, we are still in liberation process. Biafra land is not totally liberated. There is a process. It might take 1 more month, 2 more months, 1 more year. It depends on how every Biafra cooperates in this process. If we want to be totally be free today, tomorrow, it depends on your impact. We want our action to speak louder than our word. When this terrorist country called Nigeria pronounced the sentence of our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, life imprisonment, we saw the outrage. This is time that you have to be part of the eviction. You know how it is for those that have property when your tenant refuses to pay their rent or their due. You evict them. The Nigerian terrorist state, they have overstayed in Biafra land. We are evicting them. So this is part of the process. From the 15, 16, 17, 18, every business, anything that still represents Nigeria in our territory, we will use that process and still be evicting them. We want them also to feel pain. Like United States of America, they own businesses in different countries, part of the world, all over the world. Even when we go our separate ways, if Nigeria want to have our own businesses or still operate in our land, we'll give them condition. Then if they refuse to make to our demand, we evict them or revoke their license. Now that the Nigerian terrorist state, they still have some businesses, they operate in our land, and they are not cooperating. And they sentence our leader unjustly. So they need to release him. So everything, whether oil pipeline, whatever that Nigeria able to still be operating in our land, in our territory, we need to disrupt it. Yes, because if you're a government and you're operating your business in a foreign country, you pay dues. You abide by their rules and law and regulations. As it stands today, the Nigerian terrorist state are not abiding by our rules. and they are not respecting our freedom as a people, or to acknowledge that we Biafrans have the right to govern ourselves. So whatever tactics, whatever way we can get them out of our land, we would definitely do that. It happened in India by Gandhi, when they sit at home, when they show their civil disobedience to make sure that the occupier not relevant or not able to operate business in their land. That is exactly what we are doing to Nigerian states. We will do everything to cripple their businesses in our land for them to be able to come and do what is right, leave us in peace, and also release our leader, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. If you a Biafran, listen to me, and you're on social media ranting everywhere, talking about the injustice against Biafran people, the injustice against our leader, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, this is the time you show it by your action. We are not doing it to hurt Biafran people. We are doing it to send a message and to clean our land, clean the evil people out. We'll be cleaning the evil people, evicting them, it might not be over after these few days. It is a gradual process. Out of 10%, if we're able to achieve 1% in these 5 or 6 days, it is a plus. We'll give ourselves a kudos for that. It is a gradual process. We'll keep doing it until we totally achieve our goal. Thank you very much. Please obey and do what is right. Kindly sit at home. Show your displeasure of the way you've been treated. And just as I said, we are not protesting against the Nigerian terrorist state. These days of this sit at home, we are sitting at home in our territory to cripple the occupier, the foreigners' business, those that have come not to let us be. Like I said earlier, United States of America own business in different countries. Canada own business in different countries, but they abide by the law of this every country that they have their businesses. But the Nigerian terrorist state, they are not abiding by our law. They are not giving us our demand, and instead, they do whatever they can to, with all kinds of inhumane treatment against the Biafran people. It's unacceptable. So we'll make sure we disrupt any kind of businesses they have in our territory. Thank you, Minister of Information.
Thank you, APM. Honorable COS, before you comment something, I have a question to throw to the APM. APM, between people finding themselves in IDP camps, which now becomes their permanent homes, and Biafrans to observe sit at home in Biafra territory as a means of evicting Nigerian terrorist existence, which is better? IDP camp or Obey Siradum as a multidimensional approach to evict Nigerian terrorists in your lands? Over to you, sir.
I believe the Biafran people will overwhelmingly say that evicting Nigeria from Biafra land is better rather than IDP camp. Because when you're in IDP camp, you have not getting your freedom. But when you evict a tenant that is not paying their due or their rent, you can always get a new tenant. That happened like some of us that own properties. Sorry, I have to bring my own personal business into this. Even you might get a new tenant that will pay you better than what the old tenant is paying you, and while you are still free. So evicting Nigeria out of our territory will be best, and we can have new tenants. We can have countries that will come, want to do business with us and obey our rule, our law, and do business with us in good faith, which will benefit, profit us, and also profit them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, APM. Honorable COS, we have seen babies, women, and children that were sleeping in their homes. They were not in the process of evicting Nigeria from their homes or the terrorist existence. But they were comfortably sleeping in their homes in the far north and middle belt. And then we woke up to see that those babies, their heads were cut to pieces like onions. So between singing One Nigeria, then go into the house to sleep, hoping to wake up the next day, then you wake up to see dead bodies of babies, like in Yelewata, over 200 were burnt to ashes and many slaughtered in broad daylight with babies. And Biafrans going through the process of a civil disobedience, using multidimensional approaches to deal with the terrorists and evict them from Biafra land. Which will you advise people to go for?
I mean, I think Boris Johnson already answered that a part of that question. Because if the IDP camp was good, he would have gone to visit them. But now, talking about children being slaughtered, being burnt alive, we have experienced that. But through the effort of our defense forces, we have been able to checkmate the people who are coming to our land to do these things. It's not like we've not experienced these things. We have experienced them. We have experienced even the Imo State governor throwing bomb on our people who were asleep and threatening that he's going to do it over and over again. But the activities of our Biafran Defense Forces has checkmated these things. So I believe that Biafrans, we all understand them to be wise and to be able to take judgments for themselves. If you do not understand that sitting at home is better for you than having your children being burned alive, just stay hungry for 2 days. And that will explain to you that hunger alone is a problem. Not to talk of waking up and seeing your children burned. It's no longer talking about food, there's no security. That is what Nigeria brings. That's why I told our people sitting at home will ensure that the Nigerian terrorist state does not kill you. It is better to sit at home than to wake up to your children burnt alive, even though we have experienced it. So I will advise everybody to sit at home. Observe the sit at home is just 5 days, 5 beautiful days.
And let me use this sanction against Nigeria as a case study. Like Nigeria has been designated as country of particular concern or country that persecute Christian, and there's more sanction from the world power from this coming. This sanction is to cripple Nigeria economy for them to submit or for them to do the right thing. Yes, this sanction is made for reason for the Nigerian terrorist state to do what is right. Our sitting at home is a sanction as well against the Nigerian terrorist state, in the sense that every companies, every activity of Nigeria in our territory will be crippled this number of days. If there's anything they're benefiting from Biafra land, these days they will not be able to extract or benefit anything. It's to disrupt every Nigerian activity, just the same way United States of America from 5,000 miles are crippling Nigeria economy by sanctioning them, bringing them to negotiable table so that they can negotiate about how to move forward for a better world. So our sitting at home is also the same thing, a way of sanctioning Nigeria. That because of their atrocity against the Biafran people, because of the inhumane treatment against the Biafran people, that the Biafrans are sitting at home to cripple the Nigerian economy. So, not because Biafra is now redeclared, that means Nigeria cannot own or have business in Biafra land. Even Nigeria have other businesses somewhere in other countries. Yes, a foreign country can have business and operate in a foreign land as well, as long as you obey and abide by the law of that country. So the sitting at home is sanctioned. So let's look at it this way, that this number of days, we are using it to sanction the Nigerian terrorist state, that these days, you will not operate in our land until you meet our demand, or until you do what we ask you to do one way or the other. And the same still applied by inviting Nigeria. Unless they come to a round table and let us discuss, and they will meet our demand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable APM. Thank you, Honorable COS. I have a few more questions, and I'm happy to catch you two in the studio today, unannounced. And I throw this one. Dr. Mai Lafia had preached and informed Christians that they should adopt a Christian civil disobedience when he saw that the terrorists were drawing near, that the outrage of the jihad and the slaughter will escalate, just like Mazen Amdekano had informed them. But Christians in Nigeria turned blind eyes to it, and even the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria was beheaded by these same terrorists. Do you think if they had started the civil disobedience against the Nigerian terrorist government, that something would have changed, or they would have averted the situation that has escalated this far, that we now have IDP camps everywhere, targeted Christians? APM, you may pick the question, or your COS, sir.
All right, let me just take that and see where else can go. Let me give an example here. Years ago, you remember how the Labour Party of Nigeria, when I say Labour Party, I don't mean to say the same evil Labour Party, the one that P2B is working with. The Labour Party, that is it's not a political party, which I believe somebody name will show whatever was the chairman. Whenever they go on strike for weeks, for months,
Labor Union.
Labor Union. Whenever they go on strike, what happened? For weeks. Just imagine the union go on strike for 6 months. Even 2 months. What happened to the economy? 2 months. What happened to the economy? You will see the government running around trying to negotiate, trying to meet up demand, trying to make deals. What happened when United States of America, when the government shut down for over weeks? You see both the Republican and the Democrat, bumping to each other how to solve the problem. They have to make a deal. They have to come to a round table. They have to agree on certain things. That is exactly what is happening. If the entire nation, just for 1 week, sit at home, what do you think will happen to the economy? What do you think will happen to that country? No airline going out and coming in. No government office is open. What do you think will happen? All these so-called terrorists, whatever, will stop. The government will be forced to do the right thing. The power, when we say the power is in the hand of the people, that is what we're talking about. Not just some few elites. We cage millions of people. And these millions of people, some of them, not all, some of them we decide to remain like zombie. When you say zombie stand, zombie will stand. Sit, zombie will sit. The power belongs to the people. If the people revolt, if the people say enough is enough, even these Benue people, I don't know if they can come across this. If the Benue state, if they sit at home for 1 month, Plateau sit at home for 1 month, Kwara sit at home for 1 month, what do you think will happen? The governor of that state will be forced to call the federal government to a round table. Sitting at home is a power for the people. That is your weapon to demonstrate your displeasure. We are not sitting at home for Nigerian terrorist state. That sitting at home is to cripple the businesses of Nigeria in Biafra land. That does mean that Biafra land belongs to Nigeria. Canada can have businesses in Taiwan, in Japan. If they don't obey the law and rules of Taiwan and Japan, they will be evicted. That is what we are doing. Thank you very much. COS, you can go ahead from.
Before COS speaks the mic, invariably, APM, you're letting the world understand and the entire Nigerian people that the civil disobedience is a very vital and active tool that can be used to quench the government's terrorism as a tactics.
I think this is the #1 weapon that the people have. When I say the #1 weapon, is more effective more than protest. Because when you are protesting, some other businesses are open. But if the whole business is able to shut down in a single day, you shut down the entire system, what do you think will happen? Just like a motor vehicle, you drive in a car, and the engine of this vehicle just shut down. What do you think will happen to that automobile? Won't move nowhere. Because the people are the government. Because the people elect the government official. Because the people have the power to do whatever they want. But sometimes my people, because of lack of knowledge, they don't know the power they have in their hand. The people can move mountains. The people can decide their fate. The people have the power to do whatever they want and to make sure they're shaping their future. But they allow some few elite that enrich from their, from their ignorance, because some of them, I would say, they don't know the kind of power or how powerful they are as the people that made up the government, because the people elect. Without the people electing these officials, the officials as well going nowhere. Just like a day of election, when you go to the polling booth, there is no single one to cast vote. What do you think will happen? It don't matter how you rig that election. It will just send a message that nobody voted. Take your camera to that polling booth. Maybe you only, out of, if you're expecting like 10,000 or 20,000 in that polling unit, no one at the polling unit. Then tomorrow someone will come and say 20,000 voted from polling unit ABC. How does that happen? So automatically there's something fishing there. That means, whatever happened there is not just done the proper way. Thank you very much. The power belongs to the people, so the people can make decision what they want, if they want freedom or if they don't want freedom. But Biafran people sitting at home is a big tool. You use that to cripple and to make decisions of what you want. Thank you very much. COS, you can, I think you can go from here.
Yes, just to add real quick to what the APM has said, and to just to point out or buttress on when he's talking about the power belongs to the people. Earlier, I reminded our people how we took away 20 million votes out of over 25 million people that registered to participate in Nigerian 2023 presidential election, right? We displayed the power of the people in that very sense. And how did we go further to even show that the people of Biafra have accepted Biafra and the power has changed? The power in our own campaign for people to vote for their referendum as the Biafra Republic government in exile with the de facto government in homeland organized, we gathered over 50 million votes after taking away over 20 million votes from Nigeria. But I'm not going to go in all that line because my APM has done justice to that. I just want to say this, Madison, and to every Biafran and to the rest of the people who live in Nigeria who are going to come across this. The only solution that you're at the end going to adopt that would make effect in Nigeria and their system and the way they treat you will at the end of the day be sit at home. 2020, they killed you in tollgate, Loki, in Lekki tollgate. Afterwards, Showere and the 1 million march, they arrested people. I don't think they killed anybody then. Just a few days ago, a few of your fellow Nigerian citizens were protesting, I think, in Kwara State, and 2 people were killed. At the end of the day, the only thing that will stand against the terrorist Nigerian state that will not cost you your life, since you're not ready for a true revolution, the only thing you're going to end up using is going to be a sit at home. And when that time comes, Biafrans would already be very used to it, and we will come back to remind you again. That's all I want to say about that, Madison. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable COS and His Excellency, the Acting Prime Minister. I have another one to throw to you. The U.S. government has given Nigeria a dice on the table, and it goes like this: abolish Sharia law, abolish the Ishba law, abolish everything jihad if you want us to support Nigeria to exist. And then, if you don't do this, what do you think will happen, and what does it simplify to Biafran people and to every other person in Nigeria who actually wants to be out of Nigeria, as it to exit or to evict Nigeria from their homeland so that they can have their freedom? Over to you, sir.
You know why I'm laughing is because behind me here, I'm always proud of this flag, and with this beautiful flag as well. Okay, this flag here, if you can see, UK flag is not here because it can never be here.
Never.
British flag, whether it's an evil, what I don't know, because they have spoken. US understand what is happening. I so much love United States of America and their leadership. Yes, and this is their time. UK time is over. They didn't, they do what they have to do at the time, but they didn't make good friends. They didn't use it properly. Rather, they align with terrorists. Yes, look at the whole country in the world that is supported. They always support the terrorist side. And United States of America already know the game plan, what exactly that is happening. I remember that years ago, there's intelligence reports from U.S. Top of officials about the game plan to Islamize the region, the whole region called territory of Nigeria, which Biafrans we already exited, by the way, because we know we can't be in a terrorist country. And they tried to make Nigeria a safe haven. And after making Nigeria a safe haven, if you listen to a great Secretary of State, Marco Rubio yesterday or day before yesterday, these terrorists, they consider America as the big Satan, then Israel, the second devil. So their plan, the whole plan is to attack US first, United States of America, they believe they are threat to their agenda. And little do they know that United States of America is actually saving humanity. For those that believe in heaven, after heaven is U.S.A, because they are only the one stepping up. What is happening between the Israel and Hamas? U.S. they step up to intervene. What happened between the Houthis from the Mediterranean Sea, why they are disrupting the trade ships crossing through their territory? U.S. stepping. What happened? What is happening between Iran and other like Syria? U.S. always stepping. Look at what is happening between Ukraine and Russia today. United States of America still stepping as mediator. Even as few days ago, the sense of envoy to have meeting with Putin just to bring peace and stop killing, because thousands of people are being massacred. These people that are being killed every day through these wars, they are human beings like me and you. No one deserves to die. So U.S. have been a peacekeeping government or country of the world. So they are basically the police of the nation. So, and they understand that if they don't checkmate what is happening in that terrorist country called Nigeria today, it would be tough on them. It would be very, very hard on United States of America if they allow this caliphate to stand from Sokoto to whatever territory they will be able to overrun. United States of America will be attacked. So U.S. doing what they are doing, they understand the game. But hopefully, let's see if Nigerian terrorist state will abide and abolish Sharia law, of which it will not be possible. So they hold them on their own brokers. And I don't know if I know that word that is not appropriate, but I understand. So the Nigerian terrorist state, they won't be able to abide by the law or by these rules, because at the end of the day, Nigeria is a lawless country. They already have their game plan. Their game plan is to Islamize the whole region, make Nigeria an Islamic state, and attack the West from there. So U.S. already know what they need to put in place, but at the end, Nigeria must be disintegrate, dissolve, because it's never a country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, APM. Honorable COS, do you believe or do you think that the Nigeria Islamic State will agree to disband something that they have already instituted into their constitution, which they amended in 1999? Something which they have given the authority to the terrorists to slaughter. You haven't seen this spray of the genocide of Christians in 1998, 1997, but it became very vicious after the 1999 Constitution amendments. So from 2001 going, they gave them the power in the Nigerian Constitution. And yesterday I played a video where they were debating last year to even give them more power on the Sharia inside the Constitution. And they had to go into disagreement and they shuttered the house. Do you believe that they will bow to this, or will they prefer to uphold to their jihad and Sharia?
First of all, ndị Igbo si na ọkụkọ tọgbọ kwọ kwọ ka ihe ọ ga-eji wee zụọ ụmụ ya. That is a sound and a gesture that the mother hen does to protect and to provide for its children. The very case we're talking about, the Sharia law, the Hezbollah, and all those tools that they have embedded in the Nigerian constitution, is the main food, the main channel through which Nigeria is committing its indigenous genocide in Nigeria. That is the reason why they want to expand Sharia law to every side. So they will use that Sharia law to capture the whole place. That is the essence of a Sharia law. You go to the United Kingdom, they have over 50 Sharia laws, Sharia courts, and that is why they're able to capture the place. So Nigeria, for no reason, there is nothing on earth that is going to make Nigeria to drop Sharia law. It's like telling Nigeria to accept the genocide against Biafra between 1967 to 70. That is how hard it is for them to stop what they are doing already. I mean, do not forget, even as the Congress were debating on the issue of Nigeria, they were convicting our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu with, with a non-existing law. So Nigeria is lawless. UN gave them 6 months to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. They didn't obey it. So it's a system that runs on lawlessness. There is no way Sharia law. It's not a possibility.
So if they refuse, do you see that as a license to every emerging nations? Or do you see that as a license to the U.S. Department of War crushing in on the terrorists? Because American government have discovered the root cause of the problem. Yes, like you rightly explained. That is a license that has allowed them to carry out all the genocide. And it is on this same basis that American government, as we speak now, are looking for every Sharia ethics and practices in America. The U.S. Congress have sat and then they said they are designating every Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization, and they are going to look for every affiliated group that has anything to do with Sharia. So when Nigeria says they will not disband their Sharia, what do you foresee about the guns a blessing coming in from the U.S. Secretary of War? And what do you also foresee about emerging nations? Because Nigeria has been seen as the worst place for Christians to live.
So um, I
Go
think
ahead.
what you see here is a trap. If you ask me, it's a trap for the Nigerian terrorist state, and they are going to fall in it, no doubt. It is a display of high intelligence from the United States Congress, knowing fully well that Nigeria will hardly do this. It will give full access to the United States government to step in and intervene in this disaster that is going on in where you call Nigeria. Sorry, APM, go ahead.
Yeah, and there's some intel for, I think, U.S. I have so much respect to U.S. government as leader of free world, because before you lead the whole world and make decision, you have to know what you're doing. So this is it's a process of disintegration. Yeah, a country where you have a Muslim region, Christian region. If you and U.S. is not coming to tell the Muslims in Nigeria to stop practicing their practicing their religion, or to stop worshiping their God, Allah, or whatever it is. Since you have the 12 states of the Muslim 12 states that practice over 70, 80, 90% that practice Islam, they can have their Sharia law. We have no problem. We Biafrans have problem with that. We don't. Then when you come to the southeast, which is Biafra land, we are Christians, we have our own way of life, and we worship our God and have our law. So the Muslim territory that are Muslim states, they can go with their Sharia law. Then when you come to the middle belt, the over 70, 80% or 90%, if I'm not mistaken, are also Christians. Then if they say they don't want Sharia law, then they can have their own separate country. So if Lagos State decide to say they want Sharia law, they can join. They can they can join the 12 state that is already practicing Sharia law and go form their Sharia country. So the Christian countries, states, we go and worship their God and have their own country. Then that is actually, this is the easy way to just disintegrate or dissolve that country. Let everyone go their separate way. You love Sharia, you love your Allah. Okay, you go with your Allah and your Sharia, because we Biafrans will not accept that. If we say we live in a secular country and we have 2 or 3 different laws, it don't work. So I think it's a good strategy by United States of America, of which it will be very, very easy to help our cause as well. Thank you.
Thank you, APM. We hear that Nigeria has a population of about 200 million. And then we also know and hear that Biafrans are over 80 million. So if Biafrans are over 80 million, is it that the Yorubas are just 50 million, then the remaining are the northern state population? Because this is where they use to deceive everybody. Honorable COS, how do you juxtapose the fact that Christians, when you add them up of the Biafran extract of over 80 million and the Yorubas should be up to 80 million as well? Yes. So where does the number of the population that the 12 northern states overpopulate the Christians in Nigeria comes from? Because in all the narrative that has been going on for them to be able to downplay the reportage of the Christian genocide, they say, oh, they have the highest number, and our APM has on regular occasions tried to correct this narrative. Honorable COS, what do you have to say, please?
Yes, you know, from the beginning, the Nigerian state has never had a reasonable census. From the beginning, the British government, they distorted the first census Nigeria had, gave a higher number of the population of the people to the northern region. But then, you see the irony of it, when it comes to election like the 2015 Buhari election, they go out to bring in, which is how they brought in the Fulanese, bring in people to vote to, to up their number. In the real sense, I think the territory called Nigeria has over about 230 million people, or are within that range, right? So when they talk about Christians being killed and them having the large number, you come to the north, all the Kwara Plateau areas, they calculate them, they try to tell you that all these people are Muslims. They have a large number of Christians in all these places. And those are the people that are being targeted. Those are the people that are being massacred. And even as a Muslim who does not agree with them killing other people, they come after them. So that's how they downplay the number. They downplay the number of the people. They downplay the number of the people in any territory just to make it look like their crimes are not being committed. You know, Mazison, that reminds me, there is a video of Nigerian terrorist-sponsored jihadists killing and throwing people in a well-constructed water well in the north. Who calculates these people that they dispose in this manner? That's a dumping well for them. Who calculates all the people that they put in such wells? These kind of wells exist in places in the north where they either feed their animals or their farms. So they meet these Christian farmers in these places, slaughter them, and throw them into the well. The census in Nigeria has never reported the number of people that exist in the territory. But when you hear about Christian genocide, yes, we agree we have the largest number, and you believe that more Christians are killed. So you know that you're killing more of our people. Even when you go in that north, they still aim the people who are bearing Igbo names. or in any way that you're not Hausa, you are Nyamri or whatever they call you, and you're also a target. So they have always inflated the number, Mazi. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable COS. APM, I have one last question for you. I know you have a very tight schedule. So before you run, let me throw this very one. And to cap up with what our COS said, that very well is the kind of well we grew up to see in our village, where we used to stay with our grandmothers. That well that they dig it so deep, and then when you go to fetch water, there is one angle that you will be doing like this, the water will be coming out from one side. So instead of these people using this well for the best of it, they are now turning it to a dumping well where they dump human beings that they slaughter. The entire world should hear this and take note. Honorable APM, His Excellency, the man that have destroyed the zoo in a diplomatic way. Do you feel satisfied that after your appearance in the U.S. Congress and after you submitted the congressional testimony, and then Biafrans with you in the Capitol testified before the Congress, and then American lawmakers are acting according to the point by point that you stipulated in your testimony? Do you feel accomplished, or do you feel that you are not doing enough for the Biafran people at this time?
Before I answer this question, let me just revisit this population census, whatever. It's all political motivated censorship, census, that they have been using from time immemorial. So everything the British government have done from day one is how to make not the majority. And they count both their cattle, cows, everything. So they're trying to undermine the South. So it's just, just trying to boost the numbers of people in the North, trying to portray the northern part of Nigeria or wherever it is as the most populated area. And remember the Middle Belt as well. We're talking about the Middle Belt. Some part of Benue State are actually Biafrans. All these parts are just carved to boost, just to divide and make the Biafran territory like the smallest or the less populated area of the region. So, and at the same time, Christians population the population of Christians are higher than the Muslims. So they try to, sometimes you hear 50-50. Christians actually population in the entire region of Nigeria and Biafra, the population of Christians, I will tell you, is about 70 to 30% with fat. Because if the Middle Belt, you can record from 80% being Christians, so of which you actually you have less than 10% Muslim. And in the far north, you still have some like 10 to 15% that are Christians. So most of this killing that is still going on are the areas, are the Christian communities that refuse to be conquered. So that is why you still see this major attack from the Middle Belt area, especially because they refuse to be conquered, and also some part of the north. All these are politics that are played by the British government. Just like yesterday, I was listening to a news where California, they try to do whatever they will do to get more 5 districts so they can get more Congress people from that district. And this from the Democrat Party. Then the Republican Party also tried to do likewise itself from Texas, with also 5 districts to mash up to make it 5-5, so that no party should cheat each other. So all this have to play with politics. So if you go to the north, with the population and everything they are giving to the north, they're trying to make the north have more numbers of votes and more number of elected officials. So it's all just politics. Then going back to what happened in Washington, D.C., is historic. And at the same time, I feel fulfilled in a way that we are progressing. It's a gradual process. It can happen overnight. Gradually, Washington is getting the message. Washington is doing the right thing. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm really, I'm really happy the step that United States of America, the leader of the free world, have taken. This right here, I respect this very much because I haven't seen any country in the world that are stepping up for mankind, for humanity so far. The United States of America, they might not do everything perfectly because we are imperfect human beings, but at most they score over 50 to 70, 80% in carry out their duty as a leader of free world. We are not perfect. So we don't expect them to do everything perfectly. Sometimes some point finger and say, okay, what about what is happening in America? They have their own problem. Yes, they do. They have their own problem and they still carry the problem of the entire world. It's not easy. So we applaud them and really appreciate them, and we want them to do more. And more is still coming. The government shutdown is over. This month we'll be having some top high-level meeting in Washington. And if you go on Twitter, you'll find out that a lot of Biafrans that are now following some of the congressmen and women. So that's why, whenever they tweet, you always get the feed from your own Twitter page. So Biafrans are actually now waking up into this political world arena and how politics work. So I just want to, appreciate every Biafran, and especially the delegates of Biafrans that showed up on the 18th of September for our first congressional hearing. I really want to appreciate, leaving their tight schedule, some travel, some spend 2 days on just trying to get to Washington. Going back, they also spent 2 days, and our senior citizens as well. Biafra is here. That's all I can say, and I'm fulfilled. And I also want United States of America to do more. So we have to appreciate them in what they have done so far. I think so far we are in the right direction, and I'm glad that we align ourselves with leader of the free world that is taking care and doing what it's supposed to do as the leader. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable APM. And Honorable COS, this one comes to you as your last question. You all gathered in the U.S. Congress and educated them. And then something happened, and something is happening today. And then here on the screen, we have the U.S. lawmaker John James speaking. Has there ever been a time that a U.S. lawmaker is commenting on Biafra issue? If you were not there to educate them and to submit the congressional testimony, will this have happened in your lifetime?
Mazi Sonny, to answer this real quick, Mr. James' testimony speaking here was a very, it's a bold move. I'll put it that way, right? But the barrier breaker to all of the people you hear speaking today, all the people you see on Twitter talking about the need to move into Biafra and have a military base. The barrier breaker is that 18th of September congressional briefing that we had. It was like a push to all the events that our APM have been going, all the meetings that he's been going, It's like to put a face to all that has been, all the applications that has been appeal that has been made to different congressional men and women. That is what it is. So I believe the 18th of September was not a day that any Biafran will ever forget. It is a day that every Biafran will hold dear to our hearts because it's a day that we broke a long-standing barrier between the Biafran quest and the United States Congress. It is a day that the United States Congress accepted to hear from us directly. So without that, I don't think a lot of this will be happening today. That's what I would say to that.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Honorable APM, do you still have more time, or we should relieve you for your other meetings on the table?
Yeah, I think it's very important we talk to Biafrans because this time around we cannot allow what happened in 1967 to 1970. How I wish I'm in the office downstairs. I could have shown you some images, maybe to reflect to just so some Biafrans need to please. For those of you that know what happened from 1967 to 1970, it's not over yet. It's still playing, and if we are not careful, it will repeat itself again. For this evil man called Boris Johnson, people like that, I don't really like to memorize their name either. Because for him not to even visit the places where Christians have been killed in other regions of that contraption called Nigeria, because this same Nigeria is the same British government. They are still the same people that put this camp together. They never designed it to benefit the people of Middle Belt. They never designed it to benefit the people of Biafra. They never actually designed it is to benefit them, the British government, and of which they intend to use the nuts to achieve their aim or objective or their goal. Till today, they are still making the oil from our resources without even trying to look and to see how they can improve the life of the Biafran people. The British government till today have not come and even condemned what happened from 1967 to 1970, how they killed Biafran people. So I don't know, using a kind of word that I really feel like I'm comfortable against these people. I don't know how evil, even devil, Satan himself, I don't think Satan will actually behave like that. It's just so bad. Please, Biafrans, we cannot allow what happened from 1967 to 1970 to happen again. They use the same Labour Party, they impose through Nnamdi Azikiwe, the same Labour Party again, Obi. They have a playbook, they have a template. Their template is just to disrupt our freedom, to stop Biafra from being free. They never meant well for us. Our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, here in the screen. Why didn't they go for him? Why didn't they talk about his release? These people, I don't know if I will call the elite of this British, if I will call them devil. Even worse than devil. Why can't they have human sympathy? If they want to do a genuine business with Biafra people, we are ready for genuine business. Make your profit, we'll make our profit. As long as Biafra first. If you come to us, we will do business with you, have a good handshake, but not coming to kill us, take everything we have from us. Please, Biafrans, wake up! Wake up! Go to UK today. They have a steady electricity, steady light. I demonstrated last time about light. When you turn the light on, light will be everywhere. You turn it off, darkness. We are still in darkness in Biafra land. We're trying to exonerate and get out of that darkness. We deserve to be light. We deserve to be in our flag here. You can see the symbol of light. We deserve to live. We don't have to take permission from British to live in this earth. It's God, Chukwu Okike Abiyama, who created us. Please let us all unite and fight for our freedom. These people, they are on it again. If they meant well, I don't see any reason why after United States of America, Canada, and other well-meaningful countries, we condemn what is happening in that terrorist country about the genocide against the indigenous, whether Christian or whatever, it don't matter. Nobody deserves to die. But this man called Boris Johnson did not even come and condemn the atrocity, even if it is one person that is killed. No human being deserves to die. Boris did not condemn it. Few years ago, the ambassador from UK or British or from wherever to Nigeria actually campaigned in Nigerian soil for the people of Nigeria to come and unite. Good luck, Jonathan, quote from Tafawa Balawa, that the British, that Boris Johnson tried to unite people of Nigeria, people of that region, but it's not working. They are on it again because they see that United States of America, the leader of the free world, have stepped in. UK, time up. Pack your load and go. They have their own problem. The same terrorists that they love so much, they wine and dine with. They are in Amsterdam. I'm sorry. They are in Liverpool. They are in Manchester. They are everywhere in UK now. Let them go and deal with that. If they love them, they can give Boko Haram free visa to UK, ISIS, ISWAP. But the citizens of UK, I don't think, we Biafrans don't think that's what they want. That is why we encourage them to step up, speak up. They need to speak up against their government, against their elite, those that are going to bring harm to them. Because if they don't, what's going to befall UK will befall both the innocent and both the evil ones that are bringing this this calamity that will be fall upon them. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, APM, and thank you to Biafran people. We really appreciate all of you, and we want to make one thing clear. If the same UK government and what's it called, France, came out to say they want to recognize Palestinian state, while the dead bodies of the babies, women, and children in Israel, which were massacred by the Hamas terrorists, were yet to be returned to Israel. I want people to understand the point here. The dead bodies that the Hamas terrorists massacred, slaughtered, those dead bodies were still in the hands of the Hamas terrorists. They have not released those dead bodies to Israel to go and bury their dead. And then UK was the first country to come out and say they are recognizing these same people that slaughtered these babies, women, and children. I don't know why people should be celebrating UK. Because we, the Biafran people, we have seen what they have done to us before now. And I think if they did not do before to Israel, the one that they just did in this September, when they came out to say they want to recognize the same people that massacred the babies of Israel and they have not returned the dead bodies back to Israelis to bury. Then maybe it was a new thing to some other people. But I also want to remind people that there was Holocaust. Which people were behind that Holocaust? Aha. So Biafran people, your freedom is in your hands. And we love the fact that America has come to correct the wrongs and to clean the mess of Britain. Because when you check around, Britain are the countries that have done so much evil in the entire world. where there is genocide, massacre, who spearheaded it? It is Britain. Who supplied them the weapon? It is Britain. Who colonized them? It is Britain. What is Britain going for? Their oil and gas interests, their mineral resources. How can Mazi Nnamdi Kanu be a British citizen? Now, let us connect something. Showore was not a British citizen, right? Showore, the children and the wife are in America. So let us say if Showore was not American citizen, but the children of Showore are American citizen, then because of the fact that Showore's children are American citizens, when Nigerian terrorist government locked him up, incarcerated him, because of the fact that Showore's children are American citizens, American government had to speak up to Nigeria and warn Nigeria and say, if anything happens to the father of American children, if anything happens to the father of American children, you will hear it hot. But here is a man who owns a company in America, supplies labor to America, contribute immensely to the economy system of America, to the UK government, supplies labor and then even populate the economy of UK. And he has a passport of UK. Till today, nobody hears the UK government say, this is what we are saying. This is what we are saying about our citizen that was kidnapped by Nigerian government. Rather, what they are looking at is the oil and gas interests. Biafran people, we call on all of you to obey and observe the lockdown that is coming up on the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th of December 2025. It is not targeted at you as a Biafran. You are the one that is carrying out this civil disobedience against the Nigerian terrorist existence. It is a powerful tool that we have identified, which you have to use in the eviction process of the Nigerian occupiers in Biafra territory. So educate your people. Call your mama, call your papa, or tell your mama, tell your papa, tell your friend, tell everyone that you know, and let them know that that outrage that you all expressed when you had the pronouncement of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu death sentence, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu life imprisonment, then Boko Haram 20 years, but Mazi Nnamdi Kanu death sentence, life imprisonment. You all enraged in the media when it happened. It is time for you to express that hunger now. Yes. And you're not going to the street to protest. You're not going to fight anybody. You're not going to make noise anywhere. You are just going to stay in your house in a systematic way and speak in the language that Nigerian terrorist government will understand. The questions I threw to my APM here was to clarify something for some people to understand. And my honorable CEO has answered many of them. That if the Nigerian people, if the Nigerian Christians in the far north, in the middle belt, in the western part of Nigeria, had hearkened to the instruction of protests with civil disobedience, shut down all activities for a month if you are a Christian. Don't go out, don't come in. Shut down the airline, shut down the banks, shut down the churches, shut down the market, shut down everything. What you have seen today that has escalated to this point wouldn't have happened. But some of you said, oh, go to Lekki Tollgate to protest is the solution. You see, when Biafrans give you an antidote for something, you ignore. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had professed all this while educating the Nigerian people, but they turned deaf ears to it. And then Biafran people have also been educating you and say, civil disobedience is, and it is what you need. But what do people do? People say we are very stupid. You guys said we are very stupid. But it is that same message that has liberated the Biafran people. Biafran people are not packing their loads to run out of their lands to go to Cameroon to seek refuge. But today, you are packing your loads to leave your homes to go and seek refuge in Cameroon. While Biafran people have been using a multidimensional approach, which you were fighting against and calling us all manners of names. The names you have been calling us have protected us. Our Biafra Defense Forces have stood their ground and have done the needful. We call on all Biafrans to come and join the fundraising tomorrow and also on Sunday to make sure you support Biafra freedom. It is our freedom and nobody will do it for us. The same way we've been doing it all this while, it is what we have to continue to do. The Zoo Nigeria are crying because the strategies we've used has always worked. And that is why kidnapping of over 300 that happened in the far northern Middle Belt is not happening in Biafra land, because there is existence of Biafra Defense Forces. Come and support your freedom, because your freedom is in your own hands. Honorable COS, you may have something to say as we try to round up. No, we can't hear you. I think you're
Can you hear
muted.
me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes.
All right. I wouldn't try to take much more of our time. I just want to remind our people what our brother in Ambazonia, the barefoot soldier, said. It's not just to to redeclare the restoration of independent state of Biafra. It is to defend it. And for us to do that, nke mbụ bụ eje, nke abụọ eje, nke atọ eje mma. There is high need for everybody to come together for us to fund our freedom. It can be, there is no way we're going to say it and it's going to be too much. If Ukraine is looking for funds, if everybody who is fighting a war today in the world is seeking for funds, there's no reason why Biafra that is fighting would not be seeking for funds. And the best way to fund our liberation is by the people coming together. In unity, we will be able to do what we are supposed to do. That's all I have to say. See you tomorrow on our Thanksgiving, on our fundraising, where we do what we do best. Thank you so much, Marvin.
Thank you, COS. And our Honorable APM, your last words as we shut down the program.
Honorable Minister of Information, thank you, and the COS. And thanks to everyone that have tuned in today. We really appreciate you. Your freedom is in your hand, not in my hand, not in the hand of America, not in the hand of Mazin Namdekan, not in the hand of anybody. Your freedom is in your hand, and it will not be given to you in a platter of gold. You decide your freedom, not me. Not even Chukwu Okike Abiyama, not God. Because we have to ask God to give you your freedom. You have to tell God what you want. Whether you want to be free or you want to remain slave. It's in your hand. Just like when you pray to God Almighty, you pray, you ask Him what you want Him to do for you. You have a point of prayer. If you want Him to give you salvation or to have mercy upon you or to favor you for one thing or the other, you specifically ask for that. You ask. If you want to be free, you walk towards it. Your freedom is in your hand by your support, by you funding your freedom in extension to your dear loving country, in extension to your people that you love so much, Biafra. So together we can all fund our freedom and be free. We don't want what happened in 1967 to repeat itself again. We can say that the British Empire, they are not giving up. Even if Shawore, a one Nigeria list, can even realize that Nigeria is mere British investment. Nigeria is mere British estate, real estate. You know, when you have a real estate, maybe you have a tenant where people pay, you know, the Nigerians are paying rent to the British. So they want to keep making you, taking your resources. They never want you to be free, especially Biafrans. Please, let us all fund our freedom. And it's time for all of us to unite. We understand there is division here and there, but we can always come together and do what is right. We know who is who. We know those that are fighting for Biafra. There is this particular man that have been against what we are doing for some time. But he's now start to praise our action, start to praise everything we'll be doing from Washington. And once upon a time, this man talked some evil things against even our lobbyists. The same man today is praising our lobbyists. The same man today is even trying to contact our lobbyists by phone. But just a few months ago, he is one of the enemies. People like that, if they want to repent and come back genuinely and support the freedom, they need to display that and make known that they have repented from their evil way. No one is Biafra than anyone. We are all Biafrans. It's our duty to fund our freedom. If you think you can do whatever and get away with it, that will not work. All the illegitimate governors parading themselves in Biafra land, will hold you accountable. One way or the other. You might think you are free today, not forever. And the evil ones, those that are sabotaging what we're doing, please, desist from it. It's not healthy, it will do you no good. If Biafra is not here, if what we are fighting for is not genuine, or we are not doing what we're supposed to do, do you think that Boris Johnson will come yesterday? What he was doing yesterday in Biafra land is to send a message to the world that there is no genocide. But I don't know why this man did not visit the IDP camp in Benue, in Plateau. They specifically choose Biafra land, where our defense force are doing everything. They are fighting from morning to night, sleepless night, trying to protect the land of Biafra. If Biafra land is not protected, this evil man called Boris Johnson will not come to Biafra land. He should be ashamed of himself. When Peter Obi started his campaign a few years ago, Boris Johnson, I believe he is the prime minister then. Yes. He is the one Peter Obi met with in Down Street, in number 10 Down Street in UK. The same Labour Party that killed Biafrans in millions. Please, my fellow citizens, we are glad that we are working with leader of the free world. We are proud of what they have done so far, and we expect them to do more. Tomorrow is our fundraising. Tomorrow we'll be out tomorrow before we will come public for a few minutes. Then after addressing Biafra, we'll be off air. And while the fundraising is going, please Don't forget, your freedom is not in the hand of Mazio Gechukunkre. Your freedom is not in the hand of our COS here, Mazia Mwobi. Your freedom is not in the hand of Honorable Minister of Information, Mazi Soni. It's in your hand, your own hand. That's why you have to fund it. You have to fund your freedom and save yourself, save your mother, your father, your children, your wife, your husband, your uncle, nephew, niece, and also save humanity. Because freedom of Biafra will also help in making this world, a better place. Because Biafran people, we are pro people, we are pro humanity, we love humanity. We display the love of God. We want you to live and we want to live. We don't terrorize. Anywhere in the world you go, you won't hear that Biafrans are invading any one community or beheading people or forcing people to leave their religion to worship the Biafran God. Of which Biafran God is Chukwu Kabiam, the God in heaven, Jehovah God. Of which we Biafran Christians, we believe in everything that God created. And we also don't believe that we can coexist or with devil, with Islamic jihadist terrorists, because we have tried, it never do us no good, rather pain. And please come tomorrow, support your freedom. Our website is open 24/7. Fund your freedom. Your freedom is in your hand. Honorable Minister of Information, please let Biafrans really see this face of this evil man called Boris, because what he did yesterday is to come and mock Biafran people. Come and mock us after killing Biafrans in millions. Look at him. He looked like a wizard, a very wicked one for now. Look at the man here. That Imo State is peaceful. Who made it peaceful? It's the Biafran people, the Biafran Defense Force. After they have massacred Biafrans, till today they even work hard to correct it. Their evil will catch up on them. All UK citizens, all UK patrons, they need to rise up against this evil elite. If not, what will befall UK, they will be partake of it if they did not speak up. Thank you very much. Thank you, my fellow citizens. Our freedom is in our hand. It's not in no one hand. Don't let no one deceive you that America will give us our freedom. They will only support us. They will help us, not to give us. They will help us to be free. We will be free by ourselves. We will give ourselves the freedom. Because if United States of America come and say, this is your freedom, and you refuse to take it, you can only take a horse or donkey to the stream, but you can't force that horse to drink from that water. So we have to take the freedom. We own the freedom, so we have to take it. Thank you very much. Thank you from me.
Thank you, Honorable APM. And we say bye to
Thank
all
you,
our
APM.
viewers. And see you
They
all
will.
tomorrow. They will.